take 10, breathe in, let the healing begin. Open your mind and find the strength from within. Welcome to the Therapist Felisha Podcast.
Well, the countdown is finally over. Welcome to the Therapist Felisha Podcast, home of the Take 10 Challenge. I'm your host, Therapist Felisha, licensed clinical social worker, educator, advocate, and survivor. And in this space, you and I are going to be working together as a team. We are going to be spreading mental health awareness education, one 10-minute episode at a time. Now, today's episode is going to be really interesting. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I keep doing this? You keep repeating the same behavior patterns over and over again, even when you don't want to. Well, what if I told you that your brain needs an update? Let's discuss this further. Let's take 10. Here's something important that many people do not realize. The patterns you keep repeating are not actually who you are. They are old survival strategies your brain has not let go of. You overthink everything. You panic when somebody doesn't text back. You push people away. You shut down and get defensive. And then you stay in survival mode. And you keep making the choices you promised yourself you would never do again. And then you sit there asking yourself, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep repeating these same behaviors and getting these same results? You are not broken. Your brain learned how to survive a world that didn't feel safe. And now, it is still trying to protect you, even when you do not need the protection anymore. So, in other words, your brain needs an update. When a child grows up around yelling, criticism, unpredictability, neglect, addiction, abuse, or feeling like they have to walk on eggshells, their brain adapts because that is what brains do. Your brain says, pay attention, stay alert, don't trust too much, do whatever you have to do to survive. And when you are a child, those survival strategies helped you. You became the quiet one. You became the people pleaser. You learned to read everybody else's moods before you even paid attention to your own. You stayed small. You stayed strong. You became the person who always took care of everybody else because nobody took care of you. But here's the hard part. Sometimes the brain keeps using those same survival strategies long after the danger is over. Today, I want to introduce you to 3 parts of the brain that plays a major role in you repeating behavior patterns. These 3 parts are known as the stress response system. The first is called the amygdala. The amygdala. It is responsible for fight, flight, or freeze. And if you're familiar with that, drop down in the comments below and let me know that you're familiar with that because we're going to talk more about that later. But the amygdala is like your brain's alarm system. Its job is to scan for safety. Kind of like how my smoke detector is when I'm cooking and it goes off. Nothing is on fire, but yet it's letting me know that there is a potential threat. And when you have been through trauma or chaos, that alarm system can become very extra sensitive, like my smoke detector when it's time to change a battery. It becomes very sensitive. Now, even the small things can feel really big, like a look, a tone, a text message, silence, someone pulling away. Your brain saying, this is danger. And even if there is not actually danger, the brain still feels that way. You still feel that way. We're going to talk more about that. But let's move on to the second part of the brain. The second part of the brain that I want to introduce you to is your hippocampus. This is a part of the brain connected to the memory and understanding of what is happening. Trauma can make memory confusing. That is one reason people sometimes know something logically, but emotionally still feel unsafe. Next, we have the most important part of the brain, the smartest part of the brain, and that is the prefrontal cortex. Yes, this part helps you slow down, think clearly, make decisions, and it helps you to remind yourself, I am safe now. But when your alarm system is going off, so in other words, when that amygdala is acting up, the prefrontal cortex starts to shut down. And that is when you react instead of responding, because you're reacting to get rid of a feeling instead of responding to resolve a conflict. That is when you say things you don't mean. That is when you go back to old patterns. And that is when you feel like you are losing control. Let me explain it another way. Imagine you still have the same cell phone from many years ago. It worked back then. It helped you make the phone calls that you needed to make from anywhere that you needed to, as long as you had a good signal. But now, can you imagine trying to use that same old cell phone in today's world? Imagine trying to download new apps or trying to connect to modern technology. You are trying to do things that phone was never built to do. And it's freezing. It is glitching. It keeps shutting down, not because the phone is bad, but because the phone needs an update. This is what happens to many people emotionally. Your brain built survival strategies for an old environment. But now, you're living in a different season now. And the old programming is no longer helping you. It's exhausting you. So you don't need more shame. You just need an update. And that is where the Take 10 challenge comes in. Because healing does not happen all at once. Healing happens when you slow down long enough to notice what your brain has been trying to do. So today, I want you to take 10 minutes. You've already took 10 minutes to listen. So now take 10 minutes to reflect and 10 minutes to have a conversation with yourself or someone you trust. Ask yourself, what survival strategy am I still using? Am I people pleasing? Am I overthinking? Am I shutting down? Am I staying in relationships, situations, or patterns because they feel familiar, even if they're hurting me? And if you are, don't judge yourself. Create a safe, non-judgmental space for yourself. Thank your brain for helping you to survive. Then remind yourself, I am safe now. I do not have to live the rest of my life in survival mode. I can learn a new way.
If this episode spoke to you, I want you to comment below. What old survival strategy are you ready to get rid of? Also, 2 lucky people are going to win $50 Walmart gift cards. All you have to do is comment for your chance to win. And the more you comment, the more chances you have to win. I'll be announcing the winner at the end of the episode. So, stay tuned. Thanks so much for taking 10 with me. I hope that your brains are updated. And you know what else I hope? I hope that if you know someone that is still operating in those same old survival strategies, that you would share this video. And also, I hope that you will like and subscribe so we can continue to spread mental health awareness 1 10-minute episode at a time. I'm Therapist Felisha, and I'll see you next week. Take 10.
Thanks for taking 10 with me. Now reflect and share and let your mind be free. See you next week, and we'll take 10 again. Tell all your family, coworkers.